Good morning everyone, it's Carol here at Oak House Journals. Very big warm welcome from me. I hope you're having a lovely festive season. I know we certainly are here at home. And looking out my window today, it is the next best thing to snow. We've got a white hoarfrost and brilliant sunshine, so it's all looking very festive and pretty outside as well as inside. As you can see from what's on my desk here, I'm going to tackle another one of Margarete Miller's assignments as part of her Collage Weekly Planner Challenge for 2023, and I'm going to tackle the prompts for assignment number 49. As always, I've got my lightweight cardstock to work on, and if I move it to one side, you can see these are the bits and bobs that I'm going to be using for the prompts. So the first one, a favourite word, well, I've gone with the word enjoy, and the reason I've gone with that one is because I think every day should be enjoyed, and regardless of what you're doing, you should find the joy in doing it, whether you like doing it or not. It makes life easier if you can find a little bit of joy or a silver lining in what you're doing. So I've gone with the word enjoy, and as you can see, I've just got a scrap from an old book here, and I've ripped out a portion from the top. Let me put that together from the top there, and I've just used some of these letter-set letters here to create my word. So I'm going to pop that up there. The second prompt is something grey. Now, here in the UK, we call these paint samples. In America, they're called paint chips, and this one is called Moonstone, as you can see. So I'm going to be using that for my something grey. The third prompt is something you can sit on. I've got this lovely image of a chair, so I'm going to be using that. The next prompt, number 4, is a drawing or an illustration. Well, I've got a couple. This is the one I think I'm going to be using, and it's a little image of the back of a child there. So I'm going to fussy cut round that. I've also got this one as well. I couldn't resist printing this image out as well because this little lad is adorable looking between his legs. I think he might not be right for what I've got in mind today, but if I can use him, I will. If not, I'll be resorting to this one. Next prompt is something found in your bag or your purse. Well, I've got these. Now, these are a couple of business cards. The first one, as you can see, came from a pen shop in Vancouver. And this one is one that I picked up just last weekend, and I thought that I could use one or maybe both of these in my piece today. And finally, the bonus prompt is something mechanical. Well, I've got this old book page here, and I've chosen this one because of this pickup truck and broken down truck here, and I thought I could use those on my assignment this week. So the first thing I'm going to do is take these two images and fussy cut them, and I'm then going to do a little bit of cutting along the legs of this chair, and I'll be back when that's done. So I've done my fussy cutting. I've cut out this little boy, as you can see, and this lovely little one. And I've also done a little bit of cutting to the chair. I've just made a slit in there behind that leg. And what I thought I could do is have my image like that, and come in with this. And I think I'm going to leave the writing across the top up there and have it against this border on the right hand side. And these I'm going to leave to one side for the minute. This page, I'm going to just tear the portion away that I don't need, and as you can see, I've done some folding, so I'm going to rip that portion out that's got the image on. Oh, it tears beautifully, it really does. Reinforce that one, and just, whoops, I've not torn that very well, and it's encroached on the piece that I wanted to use, which is not good, but if I'm careful, I could glue that in place. So I'm just going to carefully try and tear that last bit off. Right, that didn't work very well, so I might have to resort to fussy cutting this out. I didn't want to, but let's see how that goes. What I thought I would do is try and thread it behind the leg of the chair so that it looked like the image was a toy that the child was looking at. Okay, let's just rip that away initially and maybe tear a bit more across the top here, like that. Yeah, I think that'll slide in. Very gently angle it under the leg of the chair. And I'm having to be quite careful because this is a vintage book page and it's very delicate. So I'm bringing my tweezers. Let's see if I can just guide it through. I'm going to take it right through so that, let me turn it round and you can see what I'm doing, so that that bush is lined up with the outside edge there, because there's a natural gap behind the cab where the leg can go. I might have to go in and re-tear that to get it closer, but I'm kind of thinking something like that. So let me just, for the time being, fold that bit back. Let's see how this works, just folding it back for the time being. As I say, I thought I would have this up here. Now it doesn't really give me a staggered edge down at the bottom, which is what I always try and get, or what I always try and aim for. So I like that little boy there, like that. A little bit crazy, but I do like him. He needs to be higher, something like that really, so that he looks like he's bending over and looking at his toy going underneath the chair. I really like that. The other one was this little image here, and I also like this little one. I thought I would have him like that so that he almost looks grounded. I'm going to take away this portion here of the light coloured book page. Okay, so I've got to get these in, or certainly one of them in, and what I thought I could do is just use the frame. So the obvious place to me is doing that and getting it up in there, in which case I will need to trim that down, or the white portion outside the frame down, quite like that, so that it's just peeping out up there. Maybe I could have this underneath the bottom here, like that, so that the black is picking up top and bottom, and it's giving me some more detail around this little one here. Let me turn it over, quite like that, down there. In fact, that's working very nicely. Now I've just slotted it in. What I'm not liking though is the gap that I've got up here. So I'm going to need to trim this image down a little bit, and I probably will just take a bit more off that side. So let me just do that. So I've trimmed off a little bit down that left-hand side, and because I've done that, I've had to fold more of this image behind. So let's see how this looks when it's back on the page. And actually, before I do that, I'm going to trim this down some more. So let's do that. Trim this unevenly because I want to see how much I can get away with trimming this edge in a moment. But I've trimmed off most of it on this side, and let's just see what it looks like if I pop it all back together. I want to have a little bit more of that showing there, and if possible I wanted to have these two pieces, that business card, overlapping this paint sample here, so I can pull those in a little bit more like that. And then I wanted this piece down here. I'm thinking that works quite nicely. And then this is my preferred little character, so I'm thinking that could sit on there like that. But what I don't like is the writing at the top there, which I thought I wanted to keep. So what I'm going to do is flip it round because there's no writing at the bottom. I'm going to overlap that and stagger it. I'm going to rip away this portion here on this. I have a notion to obscure that bush there for some reason. So if I have my little lad down here and moved over slightly, and have him at a slight angle so his foot is off the grey on the right hand side and then hanging off there, that works, and he's still anchored on the bottom of the paint chip or paint sample. I'm also going to rip or cut along the just outside edge of the vehicle. I'm going to leave this bottom line as it is, but ripping across that edge or trimming with scissors across that edge I think will look better and give me more of an image of the chair. I'm also going to trim away this white portion on the right hand side of that business card. So this is how it's coming together, and I'm liking what I'm seeing, and I'm thinking that I will just have this half on and half off, both the image and the grey background. So let me do that, trim that away and do something with this. This is all glued down now with the exception of this little thing that I've got in my tweezers here. Now originally I was going to have my favourite word there, and I thought that would kind of balance out this and this down here, but it seems a little bit isolated up there, and I tried it over here and I actually quite like that, so I'm going to go with that idea and just pop a bit of glue behind it like that, and I'm just going to pop it inside my image here so that I've got a little bit of a frame, not much at all, and then I can get a bit of a frame from this business card behind, and I'm just going to ease that straight. It'll all flatten up once it gets into my journal, and I'm going to call this one finished. So let's quickly go through the prompts. A favourite word, well, I've got the word enjoy up there. Something grey, well, I've got my paint sample behind. Something you can sit on, I've got this lovely image of a chair there. A drawing or an illustration, well, I've got my little boy sat down here, and as much as I wanted to use that one, he just doesn't go really, I didn't think. Very cute, but no, I went with this one in the end. Something found in your bag or your purse, well, I have these two business cards with a Vancouver pen shop from a good while ago, and then this one I picked up last weekend. And bonus, something mechanical, well, I've got my pickup trucks down at the bottom there. So yes, this one came together very easily, and I hope you like it. Thank you so much for joining me, and as always, I'll do some photographs at the end for you. So from me, bye bye now.